Welcome back to my channel for another tutorial video. In this video, I will show you how to create a simple animation working towards Angry Birds video game in GNU Octave or Matlab. To digest some of the contents in this video, you will need to understand the basics of plotting and loop statements. If you need to understand some of them, I highly encourage you to watch my other tutorial videos about plotting and loop statements. The YouTube video links are found in the comment section down below. I will go over the brief introduction to Angry Birds video game, Angry Birds projectile motion, animation basics, and Octave Matlab programming, and wrap up with a summary. Without further ado, let's jump right in. In Angry Birds, there are two main characters, Angry Birds and Green Pigs. The aim of this game is to hit the green pigs with Angry Birds through the slingshot. The player controls the final hitting point with a different initial velocity and angle through the pulling length and angle of the slingshot. Of course, you can get more score when you hit the green pigs. In this video, we'll make an animation using Octave or Matlab to mimic the Angry Birds projectile motion. To make the animation, we need to recap the basic physics. First of all, we need a relation between x and y of the Angry Birds projectile motion. The relation that we can use includes the initial velocity v0 and angle theta. So the instant flying elevation y can be predicted as the function of position x and initial velocity v0, angle theta, and gravitation acceleration g. The second information is how far the Angry Birds can fly. I used x max for the maximum distance that Angry Birds can fly, and it is related to initial velocity, angle, and gravitation acceleration. The x max is calculated when the Angry Birds touch the ground. Lastly, we need the information how high the Angry Birds can fly. I use a variable named ymax. Ymax is also given as a combination of initial velocity, angle, and gravitation acceleration. To make an animation in Octave or Matlab, you need to understand the basics of animation. The animation is nothing more than the collection of multiple snapshots to display as a moving picture. This is an example animation. To generate the animation of mimicking Angry Birds projectile motion, you need to generate a series of the snapshots and display them continuously. I will show you how to do this in Octave or Matlab. To speed up Octave or Matlab programming, I prepare a script. So in this script, I'm going to plot a projectile motion. So I'm going to go through it line by line, and hopefully you'll understand what I'm doing it. Before I run, I wanted to clear all the variables and close all the figures by using clear all and close all, so that we can start from the scratch. Now in next step, in line number 3, I can define my angle theta, pi over 4, so that should be in radian. Now next line, I also define my initial velocity v0 equal to 1 meter per second. Line number 5, I also define my gravitation acceleration, which is 9.81 in meter per second square. So line number 7, I also need to define upper bound of the x-axis, which is x underscore max. That should be equal to initial velocity square sine 2 theta over g. And upper bound on the y-axis, y max, equals 0.5 multiplied by v0 multiplied by sine theta square over g. So in order to plot it, I need to create two vectors, x and y. For x, I'm going to create a row vector by using the linear space. Linear space requiring a lower bound 0 and upper bound x max. Then how many elements do we need between 0 and x max? I use 20. For y, similarly, I can create a row vector based on the size of x. I use a formula for projectile motion, which is tangent theta x minus 0.5 g x squared over v naught cosine theta squared. So I just want you to highlight I use a element-wise operator, which is dot. Unless you use a dot, it will give you an error message saying you cannot multiply 1/20 vector because you're violating linear algebra. So once you prepare a 1/20 two row vectors x and y, you can plot y versus x using built-in function plot. So plot require x and y coordinate followed by a marker type and line type. I use empty circle, straight line for line types. So then you can run this script and you can see nice projectile curve. Now, in order to make an animation, you need to break the single plot into multiple snapshots. So then we can continue to display of the multiple snapshot to see the animation. So since we're done with the plotting, so I'm gonna make a comment by selecting and right click and make a comment, or you can use the hotkey Ctrl R. In order to break out the multiple snapshot, we need to access to the x and y vector. So I use xi and yi and plot it for each snapshot, and then use I as index for looping. So now I'm using a for loop by starting with for I equal to 1 through length x and end at end. So I need to loop it for the size of x, which is 1/20 right now. So once you run it, what happened is my position is sitting 0 and the x max. So meaning that they already finished up my projectile motion here. I cannot really see what's happening during the projectile motion. Reason is too fast to display all of them. So in order to slow it down, we can stop displaying between the two snapshots by using the pause function. So pause function requires a time that we can deliberately stop in a second. So I'm using a 0.1 second to stop between the display. So when I run it again, we can see something is moving. But we are continuing to change my x-axis and y-axis, so I'm gonna fix it by using axis function. So when you run it again, you can see some projectile motion, which is good. Now if you want to add the grid, you can also put the grid. And run it again, you can see nice projectile motion. I wanted to add a straight line as Angry Birds fly. So in order to make it happen, we can plot the straight line. So in order to make a straight line, you need to start plotting from the beginning. So I use a vector x 1 through I, y 1 through I. So then when you plot it, we don't really see anything at the moment. The reason is we keep on updating. So we want to see some cumulative plot from the beginning, so that we need to add a hold on functions. You can see the straight line. The issue is this guy keep on changing your colors. So in order to avoid this, we want it to refresh every time we loop it. So in order to refresh every time, we can use CLF function. So CLF function refresh your figure window. So this occurred during the animation, but we don't want to refresh at the end because we're gonna wipe off the final snapshot. So meaning that we cannot really see anything. So we want it to refresh only before the final snapshot so that we can add a if statement. So when you run it again, you can see nice animation. So here's a summary. We went over Angry Birds video games, followed by Angry Birds projectile motion. I also briefly introduced animation basics, followed by Octave Matlab programming. Hope this tutorial video is useful to make an animation video. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe my channel if you want to continue to watch tutorial videos in science, technology, engineering, and math. Please give thumbs up if you enjoyed. Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below, and see you next time.